So hello and welcome to another Budget Model Railways video, and yeah we're back in the loft again. I think it's taken 5 years if not 6 and we're still tinkering with this. What's basically happened is building my more recent Homeward Vale layout, I've begun to realise I really like seeing trains going through landscape, and the loft as it was really about lots of trains running but not much room for scenery. So the last time you saw it was a harbour scene. So where this muck is was a big screen, and I'd got a harbour shunting yard that went into the station. So what I've done, there was a point here that took a branch out into the station, and this was all points, which is now gone. And in a little bit of serendipity, I got the idea of running this kind of bow-shaped loop in. Now this is the St Bachman track we had, it's sort of third radius, and by sheer good fortune it fitted exactly between that point and that curve there. So it's a little bit, I think some things are meant to be. So that gives me a nice swoopy curve into the station, but more importantly it frees up all this for what I think now is going to be a town scene. I got a book recently on making urban buildings and urban layouts, and I really enjoyed doing Market Town. So the idea potentially is this gives me more room for scenery. Now this is still dropped, and what the book suggested, which I hadn't borne in mind, was a canal. And obviously the advantage of the canal is straight sides, shallow. So I'm thinking now like a canal coming out round and back in here, which would look really nice. Bit more of a town scene up there. Because we've taken the loop out here, I've obviously got a huge area for a town scene, and I'm thinking a bit like the last layout I've been doing. If we raise this slightly, we could have a road bridge over the track and into whatever I put here. That's the only area I'm sure about. Everything else I'm still unsure about. So this is still the big station area. So I've got all sorts of options. I can leave it pretty much as it is. The first question is what I do over the back. So I could put this back scene on and leave 2 tracks, which is quite tempting. It's quick and easy. I could build some very flat low relief buildings and still keep 2 tracks. Or I could lift the outer track and then I could build some much deeper low relief buildings in here so the layout really looks like it's going through a town scene. Another option, a bit more radical, is to take the station and, a bit like lots of stations in real life, lift it above these 2 platforms, down the steps, sorry it'd be that way around, down the steps, onto the platforms, move this forward, put a raised platform there which services this line, and then this obviously is a raised road area, try saying that with the wrong teeth in, down into the town scene. It's then, I think that only works if I remove the second track, because then I can have a level crossing there and then it blends in. This basically that's now a gap would be raised, and that would be a long platform. The advantage of that is it gives me a station on the outer 2 lines, which at the moment we don't have. So at the moment I've got more questions than answers. I'm quite happy with the existing goods scene, which I know is buried under track and stuff, but that works quite well. But I could potentially have that as a factory siding, so that would then still be townscape. So the idea then potentially is to swing back round here, little bit of town blending into some countryside. If I took all this fiddle yard out, because it doesn't go anywhere now, it's not loops, it would have to be single-sided fiddles. This could be a big hill, so this could be a big country hill. I could potentially even get the village from Ratton and Greenhill Halt on here. We might try that in a minute. Would sit there. And then whether or not I keep the locomotive siding, but that's a possibility. Actually, if Douglas would just pause this for a moment. So there we go. This is the village from both Greenhill Halt and Rosens Hill. And as you can see, it effectively would fit in there. Don't know, but that gives you the idea of what I've got in mind, that this would be rural running into the urban. And the other reason I'm thinking potentially of taking the second track out is to give me more room to add hillside or something here. So I guess what I'm sort of toying with at the moment is losing one of the outer tracks, losing the fiddle yard, but gaining a huge amount of scenery, because this could all be townscape. If you imagine here, by removing the outer track, I could get houses in, which at the moment I can't do as convincingly. So it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. Let me know what you think. There's lots of possibilities. The station's going to stay the same, but do we lift the station building over the tracks? Do we put a platform in there? Do we remove the track? What do I do about the back scene? I like this bit. Just about everything else is up for grabs. So I've done this really to say to people, help, I guess. I've got this wonderful space, more than big enough. I don't really have the room for the fiddle yard that I want in here, so do we just remove it? Because I found with the last layout I built, I don't mind keep putting trains on and off the layout. So I don't know. Let's see what people think. Let's have some ideas. I like the urban scene idea. I like blending into the countryside. The loopy bit here stays. But what do I do with the station? What do I do with the back scene? Because you get, particularly over in this corner, if I just grab a couple of buildings that I've got. If we had more depth over the back there, and one line running through, we could have a bit of an industrial scene going on with the train coming through the industrial scene. I think probably if I built some low relief buildings, I'd still use that as a back scene tucked behind them. Yeah, so that's the main thing. It'd be interesting to know what people think about the station. Do we leave it low level? Keep it simple, leave all this in place? Or do we take it all out and redo the whole thing on a high level? There you go. It's been keeping me awake at nights trying to work it out, so I thought, why not share it with everybody else, see if I can keep them awake at night. So anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I very much really do look forward to your replies. Somebody's bound to have an idea that I haven't thought of, even if it's rip the whole thing up and start again. Thanks as always for watching, and we'll speak to you again soon. Hi, thanks for watching the video and for the nice comments. Click on the left for a previous video in this series. Click on the right for another video you might enjoy. And please don't forget to click to subscribe, like, comment, etc. Thanks again.